What would you do if every way you normally showed love suddenly disappeared? No words, no text messages, no gifts you could buy, no flowers, no restaurants, no greeting cards. Just your hands, your eyes, your body, and the people standing in front of you. For ancient humans living hundreds of thousands of years ago, that was the only reality that ever existed. And yet somehow in that silent world without language or modern romance, love was not just present, it was powerful, it was visible, and it was expressed in ways that will genuinely surprise you. Stay till the end because the final way ancient humans showed affection reveals something so deeply human that it has never actually changed in all of human history. Let's begin. Imagine sitting in an ancient camp 100,000 years ago. The fire is low, the day's work is done. And around you, the people you have spent your entire life with are settling in for the night. Watch carefully. Because what happens in these quiet moments tells you everything about how ancient humans felt about each other. The very first and most universal form of affection ancient humans showed was touch. Not romantic touch, simply touch. Proximity. Presence. Ancient humans lived in extremely close physical contact with the members of their group. They slept pressed against each other for warmth. They groomed each other's hair the way primates still do today. They touched shoulders while walking. They held hands. They sat close enough that their bodies overlapped. This constant physical closeness was not just practical. Researchers studying the biology of human touch have confirmed that physical contact releases oxytocin, the bonding chemical, in both the person touching and the person being touched. Ancient humans did not know the science, but they knew the feeling, and they sought it constantly. The second way ancient humans showed affection was through food sharing. In a world where food was never guaranteed, choosing to give someone else a portion of what you had worked all day to find or hunt was one of the most powerful statements of care that existed. Watching who shared food with whom in ancient groups reveals the entire emotional map of the community. A hunter who brought back meat and gave the first and best portion to a specific person was saying something that needed no words. I thought of you. You matter to me. I want you to eat before I do. Food sharing was love made visible. The third expression of affection was protection. Not just physical protection from predators, but emotional protection within the group. Ancient humans who cared deeply about someone positioned themselves between that person and danger. They stepped forward when others were threatened. They stayed awake longer to watch over those they cared about. They carried heavier loads so someone else could move more easily. Every act of sacrifice in the ancient world was a form of love expressed through action rather than words. But perhaps the most tender expressions of affection were the small ones, the ones that happened quietly every day. Ancient human communities spent enormous amounts of time in physical grooming, removing parasites from each other's hair, cleaning wounds, applying plant remedies to injuries. These acts required patience, gentleness, and sustained attention. They required one person to sit still and care for another person for an extended period of time. And in groups where every moment had survival value, choosing to spend that time caring for someone's physical well-being was a profound act of devotion. There is also remarkable evidence that ancient humans created objects of affection for each other. Small carved figures, shells with holes drilled through them worn as necklaces, pieces of ochre shaped and colored and given as gifts. These were not random objects. They were the earliest known gifts. Things made by one person and given to another as a way of saying, "You are in my thoughts when my hands are busy. I made this for you. You are special to me." And then there is perhaps the most powerful form of ancient affection of all, grief. The way ancient humans mourned their dead tells us more about how deeply they loved the living than almost anything else. Archaeological sites show ancient humans burying their loved ones with flowers, with food, with tools, with objects of meaning. They placed the dead in careful positions. They stayed near the burial sites. Some evidence suggests they returned to the graves of loved ones long after death. This was not ritual without emotion. This was love that refused to end at the moment of death. And that refusal is one of the most human things that has ever existed. After watching this video, you now understand something remarkable. Ancient humans showed love in exactly the ways that still matter most today. Through presence. through touch, through sacrifice, through small acts of care repeated daily, through gifts made by hand, through grief that proved the love was real. The language of love did not begin with poetry or flowers or grand romantic gestures. It began with a hand on a shoulder in the dark, a piece of food passed from one person to another, a body positioned between danger and someone who mattered. That is where love started. And in the most important ways, that is still exactly what love is.